whenever we are teaching any lesson in English language, we have to think about what are the skills that are using in that particular lessons. That is, what skills we are developing from that lesson. We have to first understand, and next we have to understand about what concept, what theme that we are developing from that lesson. We, the teacher, have to understand in a clear manner. That is, whenever we are teaching any lesson, we have to think about what is the theme of that lesson, the first thing. The second is that what skills are using in that lesson, means which skills we are using, which skills are used in that lesson, we have to think about. And thirdly, we have to think about what competencies we are developing from that lesson and what are the learning outcomes from that lesson. So all these we have to understand before teaching any lesson. I'm talking about English language today. So when we are teaching any lesson, we have to think about first what is the theme of that lesson. Second, what are the skills we are teaching our children through that lesson. What competencies a child develops from that lesson, and what are the learning outcomes of that lesson. All these important points we have to list out in our lesson plan, and we have to ostensibly not, but we have to, with resilience, we have to practice them. For example, today I have taken 7th standard first lesson, healthy life. Here the theme of that lesson is health, that is healthy life, and related to that lesson there is a poem, that is gymnastic clock. These two, that is lesson and poem, these two's theme is health. And what skills they have used in those lessons, or else what skills we are developing from that lessons, I want to tell. From that lesson we are developing listening skill, speaking skill, writing skill, reading skill, and we are developing reference skill. So I want to tell you that the theme of this lesson is health. And when we talk about English language skill is also there. There is a separate skill: listening skills, speaking skills, reading and writing. These are the skills. But particularly language, what words we are learning from that lesson, that is also important. We are learning antonyms from this lesson. And in listening, what we are learning, I have noted here daily schedule. From this lesson, children learn about daily schedule, that is what we do every day, that the child learns from this lesson. That is, the child listen daily schedule from this lesson. And what speaking skill we develop, I want to read here. So he is able to develop interview capacity, that is interview, how to talk with our friends, how do we ask our friends questions, and what response we get. So the capacity of interviewing we develop from this lesson. That is, this is speaking. We develop speaking, particularly about how to interview, how to ask questions, how to get answers, how to answer, how others will ask the question. So interview skill, that is speaking skill, we develop from this lesson. And next one is we develop short story reading skill from this lesson. From this lesson we develop reading skill, that is how to read short story and how to comprehend the story we develop. That is, we develop reading skill, that is about how to read short story and comprehend. We develop reading skill from this lesson about this, that is how to read short story. And we develop practice skill also. There are, I am not telling only about 4 skills. There are other skills also. There is extra skills, there is practice skill, grammar skill and reference skill. These are the other skills besides these LSRW. So what practice skill we develop from this lesson, I want to tell you. From this lesson we develop diary entry practice. How to write a diary, how to enter diary, that is about diary entry we develop from the lesson Healthy Life. And what grammar we learn from this lesson, I want to tell you. We learn from this lesson, we learn action words and we learn uncountable nouns. That is, for example, water, oil, these are uncountable. So from this lesson we learn action words, that is verb, and uncountable nouns, that grammar topics we learn. And in this lesson, from this lesson we develop reference skill also. Reference skill we know already what we refer. From this lesson we develop British and American methods of writing dates. How do we write a date in American way and in Britain way, we develop from this lesson. So overall, when we teaching any lesson, we have to understand what is the theme of that lesson, what are the skills we are developing, what are the competencies and what are the learning outcomes. So what competencies we are developing from this lesson is, under the listening skill we are developing a competency, that is daily schedule. So listening is a skill. From that listening skill we are developing the competency daily schedule, that is what I do daily. That competency we are developing. In speaking skill we are developing the competency interviewing, I already told. In reading skill we are developing the competency reading short story and how to comprehend. And in grammar we are developing the competency, that is about able to know about action words and able to know about uncountable nouns. And in reference skill we are developing the competency, that is the children will be able to write dates in American and England method. And in practice skill we are developing the competency about diary entry. So under skills competency will come, and under competency learning outcomes will come. So what about learning outcomes, I tell in the next video. There is no confusion about that. So whenever we are teaching any lesson we have to prepare all these aspects. Thank you.